Okay, so the Electric State. This is the new film from directors Anthony and Joe Russo. It is written by Christopher Markus and Stephen McFeely. The film is then produced by Mike Lacoca, Patrick Newell, Georgina Pope, Anthony Russo, Joe Russo, Angela Russo Otstut, Benoit Jabert, Tiago da Costa, Chris Castaldi. It is executive produced by Russell Ackerman, Julia Angeline, Jake Ust, Tim Connors, Jeffrey Ford, Jeffrey Haley, Christopher Markus, Stephen McFeely, Andy Muschietti, Barbara Muschietti, John Schoenfelder, Simon Stålenhag, Nick Van Dyke, associate produced by Andy Watts. It is also co-produced by Murtaza Kafawala, Joseph Mikuki, and Anthony J. Voorhees, with line production from Yoshiko Tanaka, Rakesh Singh, Pranav Sahani. Yep. So then Alan Silvestri took care of the music. Right, Stephen F. Winden is on cinematography. Right, Jeffrey Ford edits the whole damn thing. Right, Sarah Finn, she brought all this cast together. Production design, we have Denise Gassner and Richard L. Johnson. Julian Ashby, Tom Froling, Richard L. Johnson, Lauren Rosenblum, and Sebastian Schroeder. All were down with the art direction. Set decoration is Elizabeth Kennan and Charlotte Lee. Michael Crow and Judiana McQuaskey are costume design. Our cast. Let's get to this crazy talented crew. We have got Christopher, played by Woody Norman. His sister Michelle is played by Millie Bobby Brown. Their mum is played by Anne Russo. Their dad is played by Greg Krumer. Right, we have got Kurt Loder is himself. Cosmo is voiced by Alan Tudyk. Jesse by is played by Rashini Edwards. Madeline Vance by Holly Hunter. Ethan Skate is Stanley Tucci. The documentary narrator is Will Lyman. Milkmatic Girl is Audrey Brockwell. We've got Corporal Carson, played by Camrus Johnson. Science Professor, played by Vince Pisani. Who else do we have? Tuck Watkins is Arthur Meadows. Mr. Peanut is voiced by Woody Harrelson. The Garbage Bot, voiced by Bill Gardell. News anchor is Merle Danbridge. Keats is obviously Chris Pratt. Staff Sergeant Stanzik is voiced by Anthony J. Voorhees. Walter Strickland is a drone pilot. Colonel Bradbury, aka the Marshal, is Giancarlo Esposito. Joe Avena is President Clinton. Farah Bedi is played by Nekar Zadigan. Jason Alexander is Ted, right? That is Michelle's stepdad, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's what you would say. Mr. Blinsky is Marion Hinkle. Ki Hu Kwan is Dr. Amherst. Who else do we have? Coleman Domingo is Wolf. Anthony Mackie is Herman. Ilana Skate is played by Antoinette Lavecchia. Miles Watlow is played by Rahul Khalil. Yeah, I think that's probably most of our people, right? Rob Groginski is Blitz. Joe Russo voices Skeevy Bot. Jenny Slate is Penny Powell. Jordan Black is Clem. Brian Cox is Popfly. There's a lot of people voicing all these different bots that are all over the place, right? So what is the electric state all about? That is the big question, right? So here's the gist. With humans isolated in their VR helmets and a continuing battle against a strange breed of monstrous drones in the wake of a technological meltdown, a teenage girl named Michelle and a robot travel the west coast of the US in search of the girl's missing brother. So this is a reimagined version of 1997, and it is based on a graphic novel of the same name, right, which was created by Simon Stålenhag. That came out in 2018, So I didn't come across this, you know? So I don't know what the comic was like, you know? I can only judge it from the film. And, I mean, it's vast. And they've tried to create this world with the robots and everything like that, which is, you know... Yeah. I mean, the cast is insane. Like the different voice actors and everything. And a lot of people, I'll give you this, right? With the voice acting, a lot of people are actually acting. Because that's always a pet peeve, right? With voice work, a lot of times people are just themselves. And so there's no soul to the character. Because the people are just being them. You know what I mean? And that's just boring and lazy. But here, it seemed people were actually acting, which I respect the fuck out of. The story, the story's kind of derivative. You know what I mean? There's not a whole lot going on with it. We've seen iterations of this so many times. Right, so many times, and I couldn't really find a USP. Couldn't find a USP of this, right? And you kind of guessed what was going to happen from the beginning, right? Because we start off and we've got, Michelle and her brother Christopher. As younger, earlier versions of themselves, right? And just through those interactions, you're just like, well, obviously that, this isn't going to last forever. That one's going to bite it, right? You just know, which is always just a bit like, I want a shock, right? Surprise me. Give me that. But you know really where it's going. And so then we just got all of these different robots and everything like that. Like the Chris Pratt character Keats. We see a clip of him as a soldier earlier on when they're giving you the kind of brief breakdown of how the robots try to, take over. And then they got beat back. So we see Keats early. And then this new, when we catch up with him, it's... I don't know. It's one of those things, right, where, like, they just... haven't really done anything with the character. There's like bits and bobs of different things they played all over the place, right? And it's just making them a bit dumb, a bit, flighty, and that's meant to be endearing, but it isn't, because we've seen it too many times, so it just is like dull. It's just like, come on, people. Come on. Give me something new. Right? Give me something new. We've got Michelle, Keats. They're on this adventure to try and find Christopher. But here's the thing, right? We're told that to go across the wall, right? To step into robot country, the exclusion zone. That's dangerous. You can't survive. But then we have them going and surviving. So then it's not really that dangerous. You know what I mean? It's just like, if you're setting something up to be this horrendous place, it's got to be that. Right? Like, do you remember that there's that Black Mirror episode from when the last season Black Mirror was really good. Right? And there was those dogs chasing the woman. It was black and white. Oh my days. That was crazy. Like, if that was the exclusion zone, then there would be peril. Right? And I think this film needed peril, but you've just got all of these different types of robots, some that you kind of feel familiar, like Mr. Peanut Head, you know? So we got something like that, but nothing is like striking fear into you. You know, nothing seems like it's a threat. So you just kind of, you know, our characters are never in peril, right? You know they're going to get through it. It's just, that's the problem. It's just like, well, we know how this is going to end. You know? Like, there's no real heart or soul to it. And I imagine, you know, you're acting to a green screen a lot and all of this. Like Millie Bobby Brown, right? Chris Pratt has done it a lot because of Guardians and Avenger films and all of this kind of thing. I'm not sure, you know, Millie has done it as much. Like, there's a bit when one of the robots grabs her, and it's meant to be like you're fighting, right? You're fighting, you're struggling to get free. But it just kind of had more of a feel of that when someone doesn't want to fight, but they're like, yo, let me at him. Let me at him. That's what you got the vibe of. It's just like, come on. You need to put a bit more energy into this for anyone to buy what you're selling. Yeah, that was it. It's like, it's not a terrible, you know, it's not the worst film I've ever seen. You know what I mean? It's definitely not. But it's very forgettable. You know? Once that screen goes black, you're not gonna be like, oh, I wonder what that meant, or oh man, how crazy was that moment? Oh boy, it's not like that. It did kind of remind me of Player One. Oh my God, was it? Is it that film Ready Player One? Yes, because you have that bit when, you know, they go to fight and you've got like all those different toys and vehicles and stuff, you know, all joining the fray, and at times you're just a bit like, I mean, I don't know, and yeah, I feel Electric State definitely had those vibes. So I think that's probably good comparison. Really, if you really enjoyed Ready Player One, you might dig The Electric State. Yeah, it's a Netflix joint. So if you've got Netflix, and a large chunk of society does, you know, be able to dip in and see what you think, right? I think also, now I haven't been able to get around to watch the director's cuts yet, but it's a little Rebel Mooney, you know what I mean? Because in that you could see potential, right? You could definitely see potential, and they were building this world, and the effects were good, and all of this stuff. But at times you were just wondering, like, you're not selling me on the emotion, right? Now, with Rebel Moon, you wondered, oh, well, they cut a lot out, right? So will you get that back in the director's cut? I don't know. In Electric State, this is it. There's not another cut, right? So yeah, if you liked Ready Player One, if you like Rebel Moon, then the Electric State could be for you. So go check it out on Netflix.